Hello there, my name is Hideout and welcome to the Pantheon, and I've got a question to ask you. How are you? Feline? Hey? Hey, it's a cat! Alright, not my best work, but we'll move swiftly on. Jetmir, Nexus of the Revels, of Revels. Revels, delicious chocolates. Have you ever had them? Don't know if they have them in America, like a combination thing. Anyway, I'd get some. They're good. 4 mana for a 5/4. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample as long as you control 6 or more creatures. And creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain double strike as long as you have 9 or more creatures. Yeah, that's pretty good, you know. Really, really nice and leads itself well to a token-based deck. A really cool commander, and I like the fact that it works as sort of an enchantment. Oh, what's going on behind me? There we go. Sorry, technical issues. I've got my elf back. But a really cool token-based commander, so, you know, good to see in Naya. And it'd be good to see you joining me as we go through these Magic the Gathering cards, you know. Plenty of commanders to look at, so come along on the journey. Now, without further ado, let's have a look at my top 5. And in at number 5, we've got Dragon Lair Spider and ways to continuously make tokens throughout the game. Because, yes, it's okay to just have a splurge of tokens, but this card just generates such a board state all of the time. 6 mana for a 5/6 reach. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, creates a 1/1 green insect creature token. Absolutely fantastic. And also the artwork's hideous. Spiders, like Barista of the Endless Web, constantly making you oat lattes, are really, really good for this sort of thing. They produce a lot of tokens. This has reach, and whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, creates a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. So yes, it is, you know, not as good as Dragon Lair Spider, but it comes out 2 turns early, being only 4 mana. So you can get a lot of nice value out of this card. Then we've got the Doomed Artisan and the Sculpture Tribal. 3 mana for a 1/1, sculptures you control can't attack or block. Not great if you're playing Changelings. And at the beginning of each end step, create a color sculpture artifact creature token. With this creature's power and toughness each equal to the number of sculptures you control. I've carved a few sculptures, you know, like these muscles. But this is really good, just consistent value generating over and over again. Similarly, we've got Assemble a Legion. 5 mana for an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Put a muster counter on Assemble Legion. Put a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each muster counter on Assemble the Legion. So first turn 1, then 2, then 3. There we go. And it just keeps spiraling out of the control. It's like cumulative upkeep, except good. So really, really cool card and a consistent way to generate a board state. Then there's Dragon Broodmother, an honorary spider. 6 mana for a 4/4 flying dragon. At the beginning of each upkeep, put a 1/1 red and green dragon creature token with flying and devour 2 onto play. So devour 2 means that when it enters, you can sacrifice X creatures to this, basically. And then it gets X times 2 counters onto that creature. Yeah. So, really, really cool. But do we care about the devour? Not really. I just want consistent tokens building up a board state to get those effects off my commander. Then, a great all-in-one big splurge of tokens is Cloud Goat Ranger. 5 mana 3/3, it enters the battlefield, creates 3 1/1 white Kithkin soldier creature tokens. Tap 3 untapped Kithkin you control, it gets +2% and gains flying until end of turn, so you can fly in there. Or you could just make a massive board state. It's 5 mana for 4 bodies. But what's better than that? Well, 5 mana for 5 bodies. Deep Forest Hermit, 5 mana for a 1/1 with Vanishing 3, so it comes in with 3 time counters. Yeah. And each upkeep you remove 1, and when it has none, see you later, it sacrifices itself. But when it ends the battlefield, create 4 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, and squirrels you control get +1/+1. So that's 9 power and 5 bodies. Absolutely incredible. And also our changelings will be buffed by +1/+1 because they're squirrels, as well as sculptures. Very cool. And there you go, a good way of getting consistent tokens and just getting a board state, which is incredibly important in this deck. And that takes me on to number 4. And at number 4, ooh, look at that, I've changed a few things. Look, my sideways cards now flip, by God. Assure and Assemble. So this section is all about keeping our commander alive and protecting him. And Assure does that assuredly. 2 mana for an instant, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. That creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Or we can Assemble, which is an instant to create 3 2/2 green and white elf creature tokens with Vigilance. So a board state, in a can, or a nice protection spell. So wonderful, and it's just good at every part of the game. And look at it, it rotates back. Look, I impress myself sometimes. Blessed Sanctuary is a 5 mana enchantment. Prevent all non-combat damage that will be dealt to you and creatures you control. It's a really, really nice bit of protection from things like Blasphemous Act and stuff like that. But also, if our opponents are going to try and burn us out with a burn spell, well, this stops it. And whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white unicorn creature token, doubling up our creatures, which is wonderful for expanding our board state. Then we've got Annex, Hardened by the Forge, which is a slightly different take on sort of protecting your board. It doesn't protect the board we have, but it generates one when the board gets destroyed. 3 mana for a... What? 3 mana for a star 3. Enchantment Demigod. Its power is total devotion to red. Whenever Annex or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 red satyr creature token with this creature can't block. If the creature has power 4 or greater, you get 2 of them. So more than likely this guy's going to end up with 4, 5 power, something like that. Our commander is a 5/4, so that's going to be at least 4 tokens with this guy on the field. Very nice. And then finally, a classic is Boros Charm. 2 mana for an instant, deals 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. Permanents you control get indestructible, which is the main reason you're ever going to play this. Or target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Great for finishing someone off if your commander's maybe died 23 times or something like that. You can just die. So there you go, a good selection of ways to protect our commander. And that brings me on, especially with Boros Charm, to my next pick. And it's one of my personal favourite cards ever printed. That's right, it's Sunforger. 3 mana for an equipment. A quick creature gets +4/+0. And now, I know what you're saying. You could stop right there, Hido. It's good enough. But wait, there's more. Pay a red and a white and unattach it. Search your library for a red or white instant sorcery card with converted mana cost 4 or less and cast that without paying its mana cost. Then shuffle your library. So this gets Boros Charm so we can protect our board, but there's so many other wonderful cards that you can fish up with this. Cards that you'd want to play in your deck anyway. Mercy Killing being a very interesting one that doesn't see enough play. 3 mana for an instant. Target creature's controller, sacrifice it. Then put X 1/1 green and white elf warrior creature tokens into play, where X is that creature's power. So this is awesome because not only is it a removal spell, so you can target your opponent's things and yeah, they're going to get a lot of 1/1s. But if we've got a massive big, one of our big spiders or something, we can use it on ourselves, sacrifice a 6/6, we get 6 1/1s at instant speed. Maybe sacrifice our commander, something like that to get 5. There's so many great uses to this card, and it just does not see enough play. And it's white because look at the hybrid, and it's an instant, so we can get it from Sunforger. Then Release to Memory is another excellent card to have. 4 mana for an instant, exile target opponent's graveyard. For each creature card exiled this way, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. So not only is this going to be, really controlling the graveyard, and if you're playing against a graveyard deck, well, you just wipe them off the face of the earth. This could potentially create a massive board state. It's not unlikely that you could get 10 1/1 flyers and then get... Oh wait, no, they're colorless. They don't fly. Yeah, stupid Kamigawa. But this is great because we can play this next turn, play our commander. Suddenly, we've got a bunch of 4/1 flying double strike vigilant. They don't fly. They don't fly. No, they don't fly. But you get what I'm saying. We can end up with a ton of attackers. Similarly, there's Entrapment Maneuver. It's 4 mana for an instant. Target player sacrifices an attacking creature. You create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens where X is that creature's toughness. So similarly to Mercy Killing, we could use this on ourselves. Or we could just, hope our opponent attacks with a massive creature. They sacrifice it, we get a ton of tokens. Just all around good card. Then, if we want to make some friends, we've got Benevolent Offering. 4 mana instant, choose an opponent. You and that player each create 3 1/1 white spirit creature tokens. Choose an opponent. You gain 2 life for each creature you control, and that player gains 2 life for each creature they control. So, not the best card, but you do have to think about making friends in Commander. And being able to make a board state at instant speed is always wonderful. Then we've got Aura Mutation, one of the best ways to make an army in a can. 2 mana for an instant, destroy target enchantment. Put X 1/1 green sapling creature tokens into play where X is its converted mana cost. If you hit an Omniscience with this, which by the way feels phenomenal, 2 mana, destroy one of the best cards ever printed, get 10 1/1s. Oh my god, what a feeling that is. And can you guess what the next card is? By god, it's the same card except for artifacts. Artifact Mutation is 2 mana for an instant. Destroy target artifact. Ooh. It can't be regenerated. Put X 1/1 green sapling creature tokens into play where X is its converted mana cost. So all of these are just incredible at building a board state and can be fetched with Sunforger. It's just so good. I love to see these sort of cards. And Sunforger, incredible. Play the card. Which brings me on to number 2. And at number 2, we've got Grand Crescendo, another card that you could fetch up from Sunforger. But this is all about creating a massive army. Yeah, okay, the other ones I've shown you, you sacrifice a creature, that's all. Let's just use our mana. Let's just make a ton of mana and make a ton of idiots, So Grand Crescendo, double white and X for an instant. Create X 1/1 white and green citizen creature tokens. I had a miniature stroke there. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. So what's really propelled this into being one of my favorite token cards is that fact. You can just play this for double white to protect your board state. Give all your creatures indestructible. Or you could push all the mana into it and, get a ton of stuff. If you're fetching this up off Sunforger, you can't pay the X, but at least you're going to get a ton of indestructibility to your board. Wonderful card. Then we've got the Copper Coat. 3 mana for an instance with Strive. The spell costs 2 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens where X is the number of creatures your opponents control. Say your opponents are ahead. They've board whites, rebuilt their board. Well, suddenly you've got a board state to rival theirs at instant speed. And then guess what? You can play your commander. All of our creatures have double strike, vigilance, and not flying. Trample, that's the other one. So really great card to just bust out in a pinch. Then, not an instant, so we can't get off Sunforger, but Decree of Justice has cycling. By far the best mechanic ever printed. You know it's true. Don't even try and lie to me. So, 4 mana for a double X. Woo. Create X 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying. Lot of mana. 1/4/4 is 6 mana. 2 is 8. Not behind that really, but you can cycle it for 3 mana, so discard it to draw a card. Incredible. Then, when you cycle it, you can pay X. If you do, create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. So this is absolutely fantastic. Instant speed board state, and also it's uncounterable because it's a activated ability. Or is it triggered? I'm triggered because I don't know the answer. I don't know. Anyway, you can't counter it with a conventional counter spell, which is, and you draw a card. It's cycling. Come on. You know this is good. Then March of the Multitudes is incredible. It's even better if you already have a board state. A green, a white, and an X for an instant with Convoke. So our creatures can help us cast this. Hooray! So for every creature we tap as we're casting this, it reduces the cost by one of those colors or a generic. So really nice. Create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink. You'd be surprised at just how good having that lifelink is, especially with our commander buffing everything by +3/+0 and giving them double strike. This can easily get you back into a game that, you know, you could be on the ropes for. Then, if we're making tons of tokens, let's make those tokens better with Ginny Fae Jetmir's second. Very fitting that we're playing Jetmir. 3 mana for a 3/3 elf druid. If you would create one or more tokens, you may instead create that many 2/2 green cat creature tokens with haste. And then that many 3/1 green dog creature tokens with vigilance. I mean, I'll be honest, cats are the best. So obviously you're going to choose the cat. You know, don't comment, you know I'm right. But a really good way of turning all of our 1/1s into 2/2s or potentially 3/1. No. But then, if we're converting our tokens, let's turn them even bigger. You know, you don't have to argue about cats and dogs. Let's just make it into massive angels. Divine Visitation, 5 mana for an enchantment. If one or more creature tokens will be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. There you go, as a way to give your tokens vigilance. Hey, no, not vigilance. Oh, flying. Christ alive, I'm falling to pieces. But Crash the Party, it's another great card. 6 mana for an instant. Create a tapped 4/4 green rhino warrior creature token for each tapped creature you control. Oh, Commander gives vigilance. If only it gave flying. But if we've attacked in or convoked, you know, you could play a lot of convoke cards in this deck. This is a great way to expand your board state. Yes, it's an instant, so anytime you want. Is it susceptible to board wipes? Yeah, it really is. You know, you better have some protection to go along with this because you can't do it after a board wipe at instant speed because then you've got no tapped creatures. Yeah, but a cool card nonetheless that I thought you might like to include. And there you go, tokens. Who would have thought? And let's have a look at what my number 1 pick is. What is it? Pick your nose? No. It's Terror of the Peaks. You know, absolutely phenomenal card. 5 mana, 5/4 dragon with flying. Spells your opponents cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast. Now, that will put them off. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So, just making a ton of 1/1 tokens, not that good. But with our commander on the field, they're 4/1s. So with Terror of the Peaks, we make 10 4/1 tokens. That's 40 damage that we can distribute however we want. Probably one opponent to kill them, you know. That's generally a good idea. Although it doesn't make you a target. But then just make 10 more and kill someone else. But this card is just absolutely insane. Similarly, we got Pandemonium. 4 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, that creature's controller may have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player of his or her choice. So, what you might notice there is that's whenever a creature, so that means our opponent's creatures as well. We are taking advantage of this far more than our opponents, so I would say it's totally fine to play this. And if anything, if you lose to this, it's a fun story, you know. I remember that time that I played Pandemonium and you killed me with it. You know, that's what Commander and EDH and Magic really is all about. Those little stories that you can tell your friends and stuff like that and reminisce about. So I'd include this card. It's hilarious. Perforos is not hilarious. It's just good. Depressingly good, I might add. It's God of Forge, 4 mana, 6/5 indestructible. A legendary enchantment creature. God. Unless your devotion to 5 less than as long as your devotion to red is less than 5, Perforos isn't a creature. You got through it. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Perforos deals 2 damage to each opponent. So those 10 tokens I've been talking about, well, suddenly that's 20 damage to each opponent. And it's pretty unstoppable, you know. Usually you can just blow up an enchantment, like Pandemonium. This, it's indestructible. There are ways to deal with it, but then you pay 3 mana. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So all of those 4/1s and 5/1s, 6/1s, double strike, vigilance, not flying, trample. So absolutely fantastic card, depressingly good. And then Warstorm Surge, a classic. I love it. I love the artwork. 6 mana enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So it's Terror of the Peaks, but not a creature. So it's less blow-upable. Oh man, my English. But this is a great card and really solid in this deck. And do you know what else would be really solid? If you subscribe. Please do. I love making these videos, and if you enjoy this, subscribe and watch more. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.